What's up? It's your girl Quinny, Quinn, and I am here with another video for you guys. So, of course, I'm in my car because it's the weekend and my house is just loud. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it a stack with y'all. My house is loud, and the video that I am doing now, I did it yesterday, but for some odd reason I deleted it, so I'm redoing it. And I'm in my car, so if you hear cars go by, just ignore it. So, hope you guys are doing well today. And today's video, I went to my Facebook and I asked my Facebook friends to inbox me or either comment. You guys can do it as well, my subscribers. Ask me any questions, topics you want me to discuss on my channel, and I will discuss them. So, I have one question from my one of my Facebook friends. Share your experience on your first pregnancy and delivery, your thoughts and feelings the first time you held your baby, bringing home, and the first year of baby's life. So this is a little backstory before I even get to the whole pregnancy and everything. This is basically, I don't want to say how I became pregnant, but I worked at I was actually living on my own. I was a good 22, 23. So I had my own place. I was working 2 full-time jobs. I had a studio apartment. I thought I was booming. So, during me working, I was doing loss prevention at a store, and I had met this guy from New York. He was an older guy. I met him from New York. So we start vibing, we start talking, we ended up doing a whoop-de-woo, and, we still communicated, while he was in New York. At this point, I didn't know whether, he even had a situation. I was young, so I didn't even care whether he had a situation, which he didn't. What he said he didn't, so I just had to go with that, but I don't think he did. Anyway, by the way, I'm drinking some water, y'all. Some ice water. So, I ended up taking a first response pregnancy test, seen the 2 lines. Then I was just like, okay, I remember Monique, the comedian, saying that, I took that first response and it don't lie. She seen the 2 lines, it was a wrap. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to take 2. I took 2, same result, seen 2 lines. So I'm like, okay, I'm getting nervous. I don't know who to talk to, who to tell. So I'm like, the only person I could think of telling that's a pro at having kids is my grandma, because she done had 7 kids. So I call my grandma. I call my grandma up and I tell her. Now, let me just put this out there. I'm the type of girl, I did not even like kids. I ain't like being around kids. If you had kids, you couldn't do nothing. So I just felt like you was really messing up what I had going on. If I wanted to go out with you and you ain't had no babysitter, it was a blow to me. So even when I was like one of those homegirls, you call your homegirl and she's like, oh, right, go sit down. I gotta go. I was like one of those girls. So I was just talking to my grandma. I was just like, I got something to tell you. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm pregnant. And she was like, what you mean? What you going to do, girl? You about to have a baby. You going to take care of that baby. I was just like, well, I don't know. I ain't never had no baby before. She's like, yo, you'll figure it out. So at this point, it's just like, I'm still working the 2 full-time jobs. I'm so exhausted. And mind you, I'm big and pregnant doing loss prevention now. This is like catching people stealing in stores, And I was doing security in a guard shack at night. So that was kind of, relieving. But you still got to stay up. And I'm pregnant. So, anyway. So, fast forwarding a little bit. Me and him still was communicating throughout that time, and then he was just like, I just think that we need to, make the, and mind you, he was 14 years older than me, too, so he was older, very much older, and he was just like, I just feel like we need to move in together. I said, well, I'm not really trying to move in, and we're not trying to make this thing official, because in my mind, I'm a young girl, so I'm thinking marriage is what you're supposed to do. I call that marriage just a trial and error, to be quite honest. So we end up getting married in the town that I stayed in at the courthouse. Nothing fancy. Had a bomb baby shower. Then after the baby shower, I left and I moved to New York. So while staying in New York, I stayed in Queens in Ozone Park. We stayed in a studio apartment. It was like a basement studio apartment. It was like a big open space, but it had like the bathroom separate and like a little hallway, nothing fancy. So basically, I would still be getting my maternity leave money, so I wouldn't have to ask him for anything while he was at work. So he was working, so-called working, so many hours. Basically, he would leave early that morning, and I wouldn't see him till maybe like 1 or 2 in the morning. So that's gonna be another video I'm gonna talk about. But whatever, we're here to talk about the pregnancy. So you know, time's going by, and I'm feeling real alone, depressed. So I would just call my grandma and my mom every day, you know, talk to them. And I would actually walk to the bodega and get me a sub like every day. I was just obsessed with subs. So then my mucus plug had burst, and I thought, you know, I never had a baby before, so I don't know what you look for. I thought I was having a baby. I thought my water had broke. So I call him up. I'm like, oh, we need to go to the hospital. I think my water broke. He come home. Oh, let's go. We go there. Oh, that's just your mucus plug. So I'm like, oh. So they was like, oh, you'll probably have the baby in like a week or two, whatever. So 2 weeks had passed, and I'm just like, okay, something got to give. I'm getting, you know, tired. This baby getting heavy. I'm ready to have this baby. So they went ahead and induced me. So that probably would be the worst labor. Not because of the length. It was 16-hour labor. But it was because I felt so alone. Like, I didn't have nobody rubbing no cloth on me. I didn't have none of that. He worked in the same hospital that I had my son in. So he basically told him, okay, when it's time to push, then you call me. So he comes in the room, and at that point, it's just like he kind of like a ghost to me, because, you know, I don't know what he was doing. He probably was seeing some of the chicks that he was working with. Who knows? Like, why you couldn't be in there all them hours that you see me up in here in labor with your child? Like, whatever. But anyway, so I'm in there. I'm pushing. Now, let me tell you something. The labor was 16 hours. It only took me 10 minutes to push him out, and it was a done deal. I don't know what strength I got, but it was nothing for me to push him out. He ended up ripping me. But, yeah, and I could feel him sewing me up. It was just, ugh. But anyway, so I have him. They put him on my chest. I'm like, okay, he's healthy. I hear him crying. I didn't want to hold him and have that moment. I'm sorry. I was tired. And I just needed my body to recover. So at that point, the only thing I do remember them putting me in my own room. After that, I was knocked out. The next day, let me rewind a little bit. I do remember being in recovery, because I remember my dad's dad, he's deceased now, but he came to see me, and he was just like, I don't know where he came from. He was just, matter of fact, I haven't seen him since I was probably younger until that time. But yeah, he just came and he gave me, I remember him giving me a kiss. I was so out of it, I don't remember a lot. I just remember him there. But fast forward, and, you know, I wake up the next day, it's 5-something in the morning, and she's willing the baby, and I'm like, well, what is this? She's like, oh, good morning. I'm just bringing your baby. And I'm like, I didn't request for him to come in here. She was like, oh, well, welcome to motherhood. I'm like, huh? So I'm like, whatever. So I'm looking over at him in the incubator. I'm like, okay, well, he sleep. I'm about to go back to sleep. I go back to sleep. We must have slept like the same amount of time, because like when I woke up, he was like kind of looking at me. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess welcome to motherhood. So I'm just looking at him, and I was just like so in amazement, like, oh my goodness, my body actually did this, and I had no help. And it kind of, like, when you have a baby, it brings like the strength out of you as a woman. So basically, I come home, and it's back to the breastville. I mean, we did end up moving. We moved in the same apartment complex, but we actually got a 1-bedroom apartment now, but it's like upstairs from where we were staying at. It was a vacancy. So he was working so many hours. Oh yeah, from sunup to sundown, that type of thing. So, you know, he would leave in the morning. The only thing I remember eating, I felt like in a way this dude was trying to really starve me out. He would only have, I would only eat macaroni salad. And I would tell him like, oh, well, I'm tired of eating this. Like, I want something. Oh, y'all don't have time to go, like that type of deal. But whatever. So I do remember eating a lot of macaroni salad. But I always made sure my baby had before I had. But, you know, of course I had WIC and all that good stuff. So he would take me to those appointments. One appointment, hell, he dropped me off. I think that was to sign up for WIC. But, yeah, so my mom and my grandma came to visit. It was so exciting to see, you know, my mom interact with my son, because she always wanted a son, but she had 2 girls. So for her to have her first grandson was something good. I remember us going to the flea market. And I got to back up a little bit, because before we even got home with the baby, I went to Red Lobster. I got me some seafood. I said, oh, he about to sit in his car seat and he about to smell that seafood. But he was knocked out anyway, so. But yeah, yeah, we went to the flea market when they came. I was sad when they left, because it's like, oh, back to Lonelyville. And it was a lot of things I was going through. I just kept them inside, because it's just like, okay, I was like so bullhead. I didn't want to be that person. Oh, I told you so. I told you it wasn't going to work. I didn't want to hear that. Okay, so then like me and him started getting into it. And I was just like, okay, this can't be healthy for the baby. So I end up leaving. My grandma and my mom, they came to pick me up or whatever. So I ended up going back to Boston. I stayed with my mom for a little bit. And then before I went, my mom was like, you need to apply for housing. But I was just like, okay, I'll apply for housing. Probably won't hear nothing from her, but whatever. But she was like, your name is going to be coming up on the list soon. I just seen the letter, So that was like really the thing that was just like, okay, girl, you gotta toughen up and smarten up. You know, you got housing coming up. You know, you and your baby have a place for y'all. So yeah, I had moved back, and yeah, we had to stay in the shelter. But I'm gonna get into that in another video about when we stay in a shelter. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification bell for other videos. I just want to make sure that I answer all my Facebook friends' questions. I kind of really didn't answer the first year of baby's life. I'm going to answer that more of the sheltering, because we stayed in the shelter, but that's a whole new video. And I was in the shelter with him the first part of his life, the first year of his life. So we're going to get into that in the next video. So make sure you stay tuned, and you guys stay safe and stay positive.